So if you progress with those first two a little bit, Steve, and you're feeling a little bit more like mobile and your back pain has decreased a little bit, if you can get into a position where we're either on all fours like this, supporting ourselves with our knees and our hands, you can also use a structure like a bed or a chair to support yourself like so. And on our knees here, with our upper body supported, we could go through the same motion that we were doing with our pelvis and our lower back, where we're looking to create arch and extension very slowly, followed by flexion of that movement, okay? So same thing, we would start by inhaling and lifting the tailbone, followed by extending the lower back a little bit. We're just trying to be very slow and controlled, and then we'll reverse that and round the lower back, rounding it, followed by rounding the pelvis a little bit. You can even squeeze your bum a little bit in this position. And we're sort of unsqueezing and uncurling the tailbone, followed by a little bit of a curve in our back. So just going through that, but in this position on our knees is going to give us a little bit more access to move our spine, where the ground kind of limits us a little bit to just the pelvis, where if we can get into this position, either all fours or support yourself with a chair or a couch, we can then move that back through the range of motion a little bit more and even kind of move into the upper back a little bit. But take your time with it. Steve, again, there's no real required numbers for repetitions. Start with something very like little with an exercise like that. Maybe just going through it like 3 or 4 times is a great start. Going up and down and trying to feel the movement in different directions. But always use a little bit and then use the next day or later on in that day to see how you feel with the movement and to see how your body feels. That's always going to be the best gauge to see how much you should do or whether you should regress a little bit or whether you're doing the perfect amount. If you feel really good the next day, maybe there's just a little bit of like, oh, I can kind of feel that, but like overall my back feels better. It feels like I moved it around a little bit more and that movement feels good. Then maybe we're at a right amount and maybe you could even do a little bit more. If it's something where the next day you felt, way too painful and kind of sore and like, well, this was just way too much, that's when we would look at, okay, next time we do it, let's regress by like half, maybe a little bit, or just, and then see where that kind of goes. So there's always freedom to kind of play around with how much you're doing or even like what you're doing in a day.